For thousands of years, humanity viewed the clouds as a boundary. We cataloged them as water vapor and weather patterns, assuming the sky was an empty void until you reached the vacuum of space. That changed when an experimental aircraft breached the upper deck of the atmosphere. The pilots expected to see the curvature of the Earth and the blackness of the exosphere. Instead, they found land. Massive continents and smaller islands were drifting calmly above the cloud layer, illuminated by a sun that never seemed to set on their surfaces. The discovery reframed the entire atmosphere. The cloud layer served as a solid foundation for a second hidden world, a thriving geography that had remained invisible from the surface for millions of years. These floating landmasses range from small, village-sized fragments to continents larger than modern nations, all suspended at an altitude previously thought uninhabitable. Deep within the island's bedrock lie massive crystals. They emit a constant energy field neutralizing gravity, creating permanent suspension. This force provides perfect stability. It has kept the islands locked in place for millions of years, independent of tectonic movements on the planet below. Built atop these islands are crystalline cities with towering white structures and glass-like bridges. The air is clear, the buildings are powered by direct sunlight, and there are no signs of industrial waste or structural decay. Despite the pristine condition of the infrastructure and the active power grids, the cities are silent. The gardens are tended and the lights remain on, but the streets are entirely empty. The population has vanished. Enormous rivers flow across the floating landscapes before reaching the edge. The water falls for thousands of meters, plunging into the cloud layer and disappearing from view. These falls are the source of Earth's weather. Every storm and every drop of rain recorded on the surface originated from these sky-bound rivers. Above the islands, gravity fails entirely, allowing a suspended sea to float across the sky. Schools of glowing fish and gigantic whales drift through this aerial ocean as if the atmosphere were as dense as the deep sea. In the Garden of Light, the trees have transparent trunks. Instead of soil nutrients, they pump a glowing golden liquid upward through their branches, illuminating the forest floor in shifting colors. The complexity of these systems indicates the floating world was engineered to function as the planet's primary life support system, regulating the biological and hydrological cycles of the world below. Automated defenses remain active. Large mechanical birds with metallic feathers and blue sensors descend from the heights to scan visitors, though they show no signs of aggression before returning to the sky. On the plains, driverless trains arrive at stations along floating rails. The doors open for precisely 30 seconds and then close, continuing their endless, passengerless loops through the cities. At the center of the largest city, a circular library contains millions of volumes that use moving images instead of text. They record the history of the stars and the formation of distant galaxies. While the rest of the library is filled with these cosmic histories, the researchers found a single section at the center that was completely vacant. The only item on the shelf is a crystal plaque. It bears a single word in a language the explorers could recognize: Earth. The fact that this specific shelf was emptied while the cosmic records remained suggests a deliberate departure. The inhabitants appear to have gathered their local history and moved to a specific destination. Beneath the main city, engineers located a massive elevator shaft. It descends directly through the core of the floating island and passes through the clouds toward the planet's surface. The elevator reaches the ground in a remote region, opening its doors to reveal the ruins of an ancient, sprawling city half buried in the earth. Geological analysis of these ruins dates them to 300,000 years ago. This creates a massive gap in the record, placing advanced technology in the hands of humans hundreds of millennia before our earliest recorded civilizations. This 300,000-year-old date places a highly advanced human society deep in the Pleistocene. It suggests that our ancestors possessed mastery over gravity and energy long before the nomadic hunter-gatherers we once considered our origin. Explorers returned to the sky and activated a central machine inside the crystal tower, hoping to trigger a diagnostic response. The entire city responded instantly. Power surged through every building. The fountains began to flow, and the platforms resumed their silent movement through the streets. A voice then filled the air. Though the language was unknown, the meaning was clear to every human present, as if the words were being understood directly by the mind. It said, "Welcome back." The city recognized the explorers because they share its origin. After 300,000 years on the surface, humanity has finally returned to the civilization it once built in the clouds.